Okay guys, hello, welcome back to my channel. There's a lot of differences in this video compared to a previous book video, hence my setting, but welcome to another monthly reads video. This is what I read in March. I have a 5-star, I have a 2-star. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna point out the obvious in a few, but we are gonna get started with Book of the Month. I have some fun stuff from my literally favorite company ever. Book of the Month, we all know, we've been here before. If you haven't though, this is the box that you get, that it comes in. It says you've got great taste, and then you get fun book inside. One of my favorite parts is the bookmark. Use me or lose me is this month. Before I get into the books that I got from Book of the Month, if you haven't heard of them, they are a super popular and fast-growing online book service for readers. Their mission is to promote new and emerging authors and help readers find books that they love. They do that by their team. They vet hundreds of books each month, which gives their readers a choice from a selection of new and emerging authors, new release titles, so you can spend more time reading and less time researching, which is amazing. They are also risk-free. You can skip anytime, any month. You will not be charged. Plus, they have the best price for new release hardcover fiction. You get your first book only $9.99 with my code SARACARROLLI, so I'll put that on the screen in the description. You'll have the links and everything down in the description to go to. We're gonna get into the books now. I have 5 books to show you guys. This book I am very excited to read. It's called Like a Sister. I always say the covers are literally phenomenal in the books from Book of the Month. This one, literally so good. This one is like a mystery, thriller, murder mystery kind of. This girl dies and they found it as an overdose, but her half-sister says that's not true, and she tries to figure out what happened to her, and she ends up uncovering family secrets. So this is probably a really good thriller, so I'm very excited about this one. I am gonna butcher this title. I'm gonna say this is Kaiki. This one's a thicker one. This cover is beautiful. This one is True Biz by Sarah Novik. This one looks fun. And then this is Bittersweet, How Sorrow and Longing Make Us Whole by Susan Kane. Last one is The Good Left Undone by Adriana Tringiani. But that is the last one of the monthly book. That's what I got from Book of the Month. Again, you can use my code SARACARROLLI. Your first book $9.99, your first hardcover $9.99. All of that is in the description box. Into the video. First off, let's state the obvious. I am in the car right now because everyone in my house is working and I don't want to disrupt them. I was just by myself and everyone's working and it's really quiet and I don't want to be screaming about books in their face. So that's that. Also, if you see a band-aid on my face, I do have a cut on my face. I just went to the dermatologist and like they did like something on my face because I had something on my face. How many times can I say that? But I went to the dermatologist and now there's a cut on my face and a band-aid. So I'm a little embarrassed by it, but I just want to point it out just in case you see it and it's like a little distracting. I know I kind of blend in with the car because I'm wearing black, but we're just gonna have to deal with it. I am in my mother's car. And if you hear the air conditioning again, I am sorry. I'm just working with what I got to give you guys what I read this month. So as usual, I wrote in my notes what I read. I read 6 books and then I started 3 and didn't finish. So there's quite a lot, but we're starting off this month with a freaking bang. Unfortunately, I read it on my Kindle, but that's fine because I ordered it on Amazon because I needed it. So this is Darling Venom by Parker S. Huntington. This is my 5-star read of the month. This is about a girl, Charlie. Okay, trigger warning for this book. I said this was in one of my reading vlogs recently, and I said trigger warnings in that because she is suicidal. She lost her parents at a very young age from an accident that you figure out, and she goes to the roof of her school planning to do something, and she meets Kellen, who's also on the roof at the same time, planning to do the same exact thing. So they kind of, I guess you could say, bond over that, and they agree to meet once a year to keep their promise of staying alive. And yes, they do that, and they have the plan to do it until high school ends. So you find out, this isn't a spoiler, but Kellen ends up passing away, and then it kind of fast forwards after that to like part 2. She knew stuff about Kellen's past, his brother, his family, and she meets Kellen's brother who's older, and they end up communicating and figuring out that she knew Kellen, all this stuff, and then connecting. And whole thing is kind of like people were saying it might be a turnoff when you don't know or haven't read the book, where it's like his brother that she ends up connecting with, and it's kind of weird. It's also an age gap, but I'm telling you, the way this book is written is so beautiful. Everything connects, and it's not just about the romance and like them connecting and stuff like that. It's literally about like life and what Kellen missed out on, and heartbreak and loneliness, and just like dealing with your inner battles. And it's so good, written so well, and I'm so surprised like I haven't seen this anywhere. I literally just saw it. I put it on my Goodreads. I don't remember where I found it or why it was on my Goodreads, but I was doing a video reading my highest Goodreads rated books, and this one was like literally one of the highest rated ones I had. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna read it, and I was not let down. I literally am obsessed with this book. If you haven't read it, you need to read it. Obviously check the trigger warnings again, but one of the best books ever. It's just written so well, and it just connects, and it's so fluid throughout the whole book, and it's like you want to keep reading. So good. It is a little bit more lengthy, but I read it in I think like a day and a half. Phenomenal, guys. Seriously, if you haven't read it already, you need to read it. Okay, after that I started Redeeming Love by by Francine Rivers. I didn't finish this. I got 100 pages in, so I don't have any ratings or anything. This is basically taking place in like the olden times. I actually don't know what time period it is, but it's in like the olden times, and it's about a girl who at a young age loses her mother and doesn't really know her. Her father didn't want her. She has a very bad relationship with men. She's in prostitution, and that's like all she knows. And then a man comes in. He's instantly attracted to her. God told him. It's kind of like a retelling of, I think, something from the Bible, but it's God told him like that's the one you want to be with, or you're meant to be with. He tries to win her over. I didn't get far in it, but it is written very well. I did enjoy it. I have to get back to it, but that one was another one of my highest rated on Goodreads that I was going to read for that video, but I never ended up finishing. So everyone that I've talked to really loves it, so I just haven't gotten to it. This is where it gets a little weird. After that, I read Most of All You by Mia Sheridan. I read this when I was on spring break, and here is the thing with this. I started reading this right after I kind of like put down Redeeming Love because I didn't want to bring that on my vacation with me. I picked this up, I'm reading the prologue, and I'm like, this sounds eerily familiar. And I was like, what is it about this book that sounds familiar? Because it starts off with the girl losing her mother, not really know her father didn't want her, and then all of a sudden it's in the future, she's working at a strip club and doesn't trust men. It literally sounds exactly like Redeeming Love, just in the present time. I don't know how Redeeming Love ends or how the story goes, so I don't know how similar they are, but literally the prologue and the beginning of this book is identical, but in modern day, to Redeeming Love. And I was so confused. I was like, what are the odds that it's that similar? But the man walks into like the strip club, and all of a sudden he's an attraction to her. And I think this is where I got a little bit turned off from the book. I rated this at 3 out of 5. I understood why in Redeeming Love he was like meant to be with her, like God told him, but in this book it doesn't really say anything like that. He just all of a sudden like kind of forces his way into her life, and I didn't love that part. The first half wasn't really for me. I don't know, it felt kind of forceful the way that they ended up connecting, and then something ends up happening to her and she can't stay at her house, so she stays at his house, and it's just like, you just met him. And then also something happens with his brother and her, and somehow that's just forgiven at the end, which I didn't love. So it wasn't my favorite romance. I think there was some parts of it that was like a little bit weird to me, but I did like the two characters. I thought that they were really sweet together at the end of it, but the first half and then that like one little happening wasn't my favorite. But it is a good read. It is a good book. I kind of read it quick. It was just like, I don't know, some parts weren't for me. Okay, wait, so I wrote down for Most of All You that there's a character, Chloe, where she was like a useless character. Honestly, I personally don't think she should have been in the book. I don't know why she was in it. She was just kind of like pointless, other than being like a friend for Crystal, I guess. And then I also said there was forced proximity, like that trope, but in a weird way. Like she was at his house. I don't know. You'll see if you ever read it, or if you did. And then I was like, why are we ignoring what Dominic, his brother, did? I don't know. Okay, after that though, I read the best book in the entire world. I've seen it getting traction, honestly. Like, I'm not saying it didn't have traction and it didn't have a lot of readers, but like a lot more on Instagram specifically. Like, I've seen a lot of people posting about it, but I reread it for the second time and it hit harder than the first time. I'm not even kidding. It is literally my comfort book. I finally got to annotate it, so I do have some fun annotations. I think I want to post like an Instagram of like my favorite quotes, but it hit harder the second time. I was sobbing at the end. It literally was just like, I feel like I know these characters and I like my friends, but there is no better written man than Elliot, or even just him as a child, teenager. So this is basically about, it's a second chance at romance. This is my favorite tropes in a book. I think that's also why I love it. It's second chance romance, it's friends to lovers, it's like childhood lovers, it's like all of that, but the way that they do it is like, you get like the flashbacks, so you get like present time, and then it says then and now, and you get it like flip-flopped from each other, which I think was done so well. Sometimes it can get confusing or boring or like not good, but in the back then, it's perfectly written. It's like them connecting and just learning their first with each other, and just Elliot is perfect. And then the now, it's like you can feel their connection, like you can feel that they were meant to be together, and that like whatever happened was so unfortunate and so heartbreaking, but like they like needed to get over it, and like 11 years they had in between, so you see them rekindling that, and like the family, and like everything about it is just literally absolutely perfect. I'm gonna read this for a third time probably over the summer and just get into it again. I absolutely would do anything for this book. Best book in the entire world. After that, finished Addicted After All. So I am slowly getting my way through it. I'm finally back into the Addicted world. This is the last in the Addicted series before like the last of the Calloway sisters and then the epilogue. So I read, I believe it was like 400 pages in the previous months, and then I finally read like the last, it's like 100, which is also in the previous reading vlog, one of my more recent ones. This was Lillian Lowe. If you don't know the Addicted series, I'm sure you do, but it's Lowe. His name is Lauren Hale. He is an alcoholic, was whatever, alcoholic, and then Lily is a sex addict, so they both have an addiction, and they both enable each other, and they were very bad for each other, very toxic, but they were also like childhood lovers. Again, one of my favorite tropes. Childhood friends to lovers, so they really relied on each other and they grew up together because their families are family friends. They come from wealth, so they kind of connect on a lot of levels, but they also, again, enabled each other with their addiction, so it wasn't healthy. But you just see their life, and then again, the Calloway sisters, you see her sisters' lives and everyone in the family connecting. It's just such a beautiful world, and the books are written so well. I did take a little bit of a break, but I'm back into it. I'm currently reading Fuel the Fire, so this is what I read. I gave this a 4 out of 5 just because I kind of stopped when I got almost to the end. I don't know why I did that, but I did. So it wasn't a 5 out of 5, but I literally was crying at the end of this. It was... Okay, so then I read Alex Approximately. That was in the same reading vlog as Addicted After All. This book I saw on a few people's stories. It was on my Goodreads for a while and my TBR, and I just really wanted to get to it, and I felt like, why not just do it? I saw it at Barnes and I bought it. This one I gave it a 3 out of 5. It's about Bailey. She has an online friend she chats with. They have like a bond over loving, I guess, like old films. So they chat online. They don't know each other's real names, anything like that about each other. They know where each other lives. So Bailey's dad lives where the guy Alex online lives in California. She ends up moving to her father's house and not telling Alex, and then she gets a summer job at a museum. She meets a guy named Porter. They connect, and then she like slowly stops talking to Alex throughout, like online, and that part I didn't love. This book is very predictable. I wish that she focused more on the online relationship, because when you read the back, that's like what you assume it's gonna be more geared towards, but it wasn't that bad. I didn't love the museum setting. I'm really honestly not sure why she chose a museum as the, what's it called, like the setting and like the workplace. I really didn't like it. I feel like she could have catered it more towards like California, maybe working somewhere like on the beach. I mean, it was by the, I don't know. I just didn't like the museum. But it was a good book. It's really cheesy, but it's really cute. It's really quick read too. If you don't like really predictable cheesy books, probably don't read this. But I thought it was a good story. Just not my favorite romance. Not my favorite book, but it was good. It wasn't bad. I just expected it to be like more and something totally different. So after that, I read the Chichi on my phone. I think this is by Sarah something. I gave this a 4 out of 5. I read the reviews and not a lot of people liked it because it is probably the cheesiest little romance that I ever read, but sometimes it's like a little sweet spot and I kind of like that, and I need a little bit of a cheesy, fluffy romance. Sometimes I don't want something so dark and, you know. So I read this. I gave it a 4 out of 5. It's about Brie. She's a ballerina, and she is Nathan, who's in the NFL's best friend. They are from, again, childhood best friends. Not childhood, high school best friends. So they've grown up together. They have like a very close relationship, and that kind of like gears off all of Nathan's girlfriends and stuff. They are just platonic friends, but you can see it's in dual point of view that they both love each other and have feelings for each other. And Nathan and his friends, which I loved that part. Nathan's like NFL friends, like football friends, love Brie. Oh, it was so cute. But Nathan's friends kind of come up with like a cheat sheet to get Brie with him, like to kind of win over Brie, but it's very hard for them to share their love for each other because they have such a great friendship and they don't want to ruin it. And it was just so sweet, so cute, very quick read, very easy read. The ending I didn't love because it was like very rushed and very, I feel like, unrealistic. It just like went really quick. I didn't love it, but I loved their relationship. I loved these characters. I loved this sweet story. If you're looking for just a sweet, quick romance, this is literally perfect. I think it was Kindle Unlimited too, so. And then I read Twisted Love by Anna Huang. Let me find it. My reading vlog is out on this. I read it with Lauren. This book was so hyped. This series is so hyped, and that's where it gets a little bit, I don't know. I love reading books that are like all over Instagram, TikTok, getting hyped, because I like to see my own opinion on them, and usually my opinion differs when something is like really hyped. I don't know why that happened. I don't know. I don't know if I set myself up for this, but I gave it a 2.5 out of 5. I know that's gonna hurt so many people's feelings, but I personally just really didn't enjoy this book. Ava and Alex. Alex is Ava's brother's like best friend. It's brother's best friend trope. It's enemies to lovers. It's he would burn the world for her. Her brother ends up moving across whatever the country for something, and Alex moves in next to her to watch her, which first of all, why do you need to watch her? But in the beginning of the book, he said, she's not my type, like literally, like I don't like anything about her, all this stuff. And then they start, I guess you could say, hanging out because Ava and her friends are like trying to get emotions out of him. He's like an emotionless guy. He's like mean. And she says, okay, so they start hanging out a little bit more, and it's like fine, and then all of a sudden a flip is completely switched and it's like they're dating. I don't know, it was just like there was no like chemistry build up, no tension build up, nothing build up. There's just like all of a sudden they're like together, and then the second half of the book is like a freaking murder mystery. It's like, I don't know, I didn't like it. I didn't like Alex as a character. He's like thinking about killing people and like borderline killing people. He's legit a sociopath. I think there's a right way to write an enemies to lovers like this and like make him want to kill people. I don't know. I think he was romanticized too much for being literally a killer and a sociopath. I think there was a better way to write that and like make him seem likable and like I like him, but I didn't. I hated him. Ava, I didn't mind her. I think she was stupid for getting back together with him at the end. The ending was so bad. He is just such an unlikable character, and I don't think that he should be romanticized. I just don't think he was like doing anything right. I don't know. I did not like it. I did not like their relationship. They had no chemistry. Nothing about it was like okay to me. Everyone's saying the second book is the best. Read the rest of the series, but I don't really know if I'm ever gonna get to it. That was my opinion on this book. I'm not the biggest fan. And then I thought I was gonna finish this book, Dance of Thieves. I have like 200 pages left. I literally thought I was gonna finish it yesterday, but I didn't. So stay tuned for my review on this next month. But that was everything that I read in March. Once again, I am apologizing for filming this in my car. It was just like the best spot for me to go to. I feel like I read quite a bit. I did start a few books I didn't finish, but I'm gonna get to them. And if you're wondering what I'm reading in April, I did upload an April TBR video, so definitely check that out. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you've read any of these books, your opinions. As usual, let me know literally anything. I love hearing guys' opinions. It's so much fun. Thank you for watching, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Bye!